Having trouble in your love life? I have the answers. It's called Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. The biggest problem usually is people choose the wrong person. Not anymore. Find out your birthday secrets, available online at secretsofbirthdays.com. So garden. Hello my innovators, and welcome back to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Update. From my webcam to yours, I'm Witecki, your host to the universe. And I've got some fun stuff to announce this particular week. For one, we've got some new stuff at Mart. Carolyn Nagel. She has the Moon Goddess monthly reports now. These are for purchase and immediate download, available on Wednesday. They're based on your moon sign. So if you know your moon sign, it's a monthly forecast or a pre-forecast of where your emotions are going to be, where you're going to be moody, when it's going to be hard, kind of coaching you through the emotional tides. She trained with us in Soul Garden, and she's genius at what she does, and she was born in a full moon, so she knows what she's talking about. Check her out. It is worth your time. I think it's going to be the last piece people need to get through their month. And Nikki Bright has a seminar coming up, 2 of them this month, called Jumpstart Creativity, where in 90 minutes we can get you back into your creative spirit. So if you've lost touch with your joy, fun, passion, creativity, inner child basically, this is the person you want to talk to. Check her out at soulmart.me as well. Well, we are in Virgo, and you know what that means? It means we are facing reality. And reality for Aquarius is oh no, boundaries. Anytime an Aquarius has to work on boundaries, that is the most real thing that they have to go through. And it really is what defines an Aquarius, what you will and won't do. That's what defines an Aquarius, because the rest of your soul is all based on and run. You are very unique that way. Now, there are 3 stages of reality. One is live, love, and be. That's where it comes from. And we have now progressed to the love stage from 10 to 19 degrees this week. So last week you were working on the live, and for live it is literally your boundaries, mostly with yourself. So in the first 10 days of Sun and Virgo is all where do you draw your lines with yourself. I really should say no after the 4th drink. I really should not sleep with my teacher. I really should be open to mom when she's nice to me. These are all boundaries that we explore, and last week we did that. Now we move into the love stage, which is intimacy. Bow chicka wow wow. Now I don't know if you ever heard this, but Aquarians are known to have freaky deaky taste when it comes to who they'll sleep with. You can never guess who an Aquarius will sleep with. That's like one of the best poker games, or one of the best party games, I think, is that. And the reason is because you are like a Virgo when it comes to intimacy. You are like very nitpicky. You have super different details about what you will open to and what you won't. And I don't think this is going to be a hard transit in the next few days, but I do think this is going to be the transit where you are nitpicking through all the details of what you will and won't do with this new boundary structure with yourself. You built your inner side, and now it's what are you going to do in the outside world. So we come back from vacation on Tuesday. Jupiter rules the day, and so it's a day of exploring your options. So you're exploring your boundaries. You're exploring what you might want to open. You're exploring what you might want to close. And it's a private day. The moon in Taurus nests and rests you, pulls you into emotional nurturing, emotional well-being, perhaps pulls you into things at home. Now the planets have a whole bunch of things going on, although it looks quiet in the sky. The first is this, a yod, which started last week, right? We had a yod last week. It continues this week. This yod says, for the next few days, you must continually innovate your mind. Mars in Scorpio and the Sun in Virgo pulls it even more dimensionally and says, you must take your ideas for where you want to go in your career, and you must take where your boundary comfort zone is, and you must open your mind to unlimited possibility. Basically, you must be an Aquarius squared in your own head. Okay? So if you can go Aquarius squared in your own head, you'll be able to keep up with your own growth this week. That's clue number 1. Clue number 2 is a soul pyramid in Earth on Tuesday and only Tuesday. And what this does is unite your light in 3 areas, or unite 3 states of awareness into a 1 awareness, so you have a conclusion upon 3. So it's 3 strikes for 1 rock, so to speak. Now the moon in Taurus means you are taking this rich emotional fabric of you and how you ground yourself emotionally, which was really last year's lesson for you to ground emotionally. You take that, you go up to Pluto, which is you're also looking at a new inner faith that is breaking in you. So you're starting to have a new inner faith. In other words, you're starting to believe in invisible things. That's what faith is. And that all ties into what? Sun focusing on boundaries. So your new boundaries plus your sense of well-being plus your new faith brings probably a grand conclusion. And I would not be surprised the grand conclusion points to a whole new way of thinking. So on Tuesday, as we get started, here's all the magic at once. We got a lot of party going on as Jupiter rules the day and explores, and while you're supposed to be at home taking a nap, because after all, it is a nesting and resting day. Whoops, sorry about that. Okay, here we go, and go. Then on Wednesday, we've got a Uranus rule day, so it's breakdown or breakthrough, kind of depends on what you're working on, but it may be that you decided you want to draw boundaries or you ran out of time and the universe has forced you to jump in the pool and forced you to draw boundaries. If you need an example of what might be going on, could be that, let's say you had to file a lawsuit at work that you were sexually discriminated against and you have until tomorrow to file it. That would be an example of the universe saying, come on, come on, come on, you've got to push. Let's do your boundaries. Let's get it moving, right? Now, the planets themselves are kind of completing the odd. There's a chance of anxiety on this day. That's because your moon is wanting to nest and rest, so you're feeling more vulnerable than usual. But Uranus rules the day, which means there will be a breakthrough or a breakdown breakthrough with your boundaries, and this is where this yod comes into a full I think, moment. Because as Uranus rules the sun and you start to rattle your boundaries, as your new career and decision-making direction also is strong, this is probably the day that you actually innovate or think differently. And it probably comes from being pushed in the pool or from feeling threatened in your boundaries. It took feeling threatened. A lot of times it takes feeling threatened, I think, for an Aquarius. I don't know why you guys are that way. You tell me. You tell me, Aquarius. All right, so that is busy. Then on Thursday, Mercury rules the day, so it's a cloudy day. We're in our head, we're very pensive, and on Thursday you're trying to break through, trying to understand. So if it was slippery boundaries that almost, you fell on yesterday, you're going to figure out where you slipped, you're going to figure out where you need to draw your boundaries. Again, this is all toward intimacy, and intimacy is the practice of going out in the world and opening up to the world as much as you can without being threatened. Right? So it's a complicated puzzle. We're also talking about intimacy on a one-on-one level, which of course is even deeper opening with even less things closed down. And so Thursday, the breakthrough is probably understanding what it will take for yourself, at the same time nurturing yourself with the nesting and resting. Now the planets, I want to point out two things with the planets. The moon is in Taurus, but Venus has moved over to Leo. So remember last month where you were working on relationships and all month you were working on massaging your ability to love yourself and therefore love others? Well, you haven't seen any results yet, have you? That's because Venus hasn't shown up. Now that Venus has shown up, you will begin to receive love, first from yourself for the next 10 or 15 days. So it's time to receive love from yourself. It is time to really sit there and receive it. What does receive it mean, Chris? It's like slowly chewing your chocolate instead of gobbling it down. Chew it slowly and taste life. Start receiving in your relationships. Also notice that Mercury is creeping up on the sun, which means we're going to have a holy moly moment when those things happen. Good stuff there. Then we get to Friday. Now Friday is sunny and super childlike for the Aquas. That's because the moon has now moved into Gemini, multiplied by Jupiter. Talk about that in a minute. It's also because Venus rules the day. So when it comes to boundaries, if you've been sweating them all week, sweating to the 80s, then you will find that you can chill out. Venus will restore balance and order with boundaries. If something was inflamed between you and someone else, it will likely cool off on Friday. And if you have been nervous or afraid or had anxiety, probably cool off just with Venus. Venus just restores balance and order on the planet, which is a nice blessing after doing our soul work. But the planets have a lot going on. First of all, check out the moon conjuncting Jupiter right here, okay? The moon conjuncting Jupiter is your emotions hitting your inner child. So the moon moves into Gemini, which is your inner child, which is your fun side. This is why you feel fun. But then Jupiter is a multiplier. So it says take that fun and multiply it 15 times. It's at 15 degrees. Multiply 15 times at least. So you're going to feel this explosion of inner child goo goo gaga kind of feelings. Now, on top of that, boom, boom, we get a new yod. A new yod. What is it pointing towards? Your career. What is it saying? It's saying on Friday, go for it. Go for your career on Friday. Take action. And this yod goes away the next day. Now, it is multiplied by the fact that the moon and Jupiter, that feeling good in your inner child, that is part of what drives this yod. The other part is Uranus. Now, here's what's so crazy. God just asked you to update Uranus 2 days ago. And you're already using the updated Uranus and putting it into another yod. This is how fast karma is moving. I'm just trying to show people. It's moving really fast, and it's really kind of scary in a fun way. There's the yod without back planets. And on top of this, Saturn. Now remember last weekend, I said you have to decide. What do you have to decide? You have to decide what you believe in and what gives you life most purpose. Well, Decision time is up. Ding, 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 ding. Friday is the last day. You must know what gives you life most purpose on Friday, because no matter what, you're going forward in 24 hours. So the Saturn issue also climaxes, and the square between Jupiter and the Sun climaxes at the same time. Talk about a ballet. So as the moon conjuncts Jupiter, it happens to square the sun exactly 15 degrees. Isn't it funny that the moon caught up with Jupiter at 15 when it squared? Because it could have caught up with Jupiter any other time. That's what's crazy about the planets. It just blows my mind. But what does this come down to, Chris? I'll tell you. This is fear between what your inner child wants and the sun in Virgo, the boundaries necessary to get it. So you face fears on Friday based on the boundaries that you're afraid. You face fears of whatever boundaries you have to cross to have your dreams come true, whatever that has to be. And we all have that. It's like, oh gosh, if I want to be famous, that means I have to give up my privacy. That's a boundary change that comes from being famous. Right? So you're going to face that. And on top of that, you're going to also have to have the decision about what gives your life most purpose. And on top of that, you need to move forward with your career on Friday. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Then Saturday. It is a Neptune day, so we do get a break, and we're allowed to kind of refocus through our intuition, not focus in reality, but focus on our gut. Saturday is a gut day. You want to check your gut and make sure that your boundaries are being put in the right place, that you are drawing boundaries with others in the right place as you move and do things. Good news is you're still uber creative because the moon is still in Gemini, so your inner child is still alive, and you're very playful and creative in this moment as well. Now with the planets, they are somewhat quiet as we get this moment, but I just want to point out, see how Mercury is about to hit the sun? This is another Tribeca kind of moment going on in 24 hours. On Sunday, it is decision time. So after all this crazy week, it's time to commit. And whenever we're in the I love stage of Live, Love, Be, when you commit, you are committing to what you love most. So it's time to commit to what you love most when it comes to boundaries. And if you haven't figured it out yet, your boundaries should be based on what you love most. The only time we should ever put boundaries around something is to protect something we love. If we don't love it, we don't have to put boundaries around it. It's pretty much that simple. Universe works that simply. So you are deciding and committing on Sunday to certain boundary structure, but you are hyper alert because the moon will move from Gemini into Cancer during the course of the day. Let's take a look at the planets. Check this out. This is a different soul pyramid that temporarily comes as the moon hits the late stages of Gemini and crosses the border into Cancer. So this is a crazy soul pyramid in the sense that it starts as an air base and moves to a water-based pyramid. All right? This is like God doing yoga in front of us. What it comes down to is, on Sunday, as you are committing to a boundary structure, it is instantly united in your light. And here's what unites. On the one hand, Neptune in Pisces is uniting and aligning your mind. So your thoughts get pulled in the equation. The moon in Gemini, then Cancer, pulls your inner child into it, and then reality hits. So you really make it reality. This expression will turn to reality. And then look at this other triangle, Saturn at 27 degrees, which is green now. Why is it green? Because now Saturn is going. Remember I said yesterday, decide? Because today it's go time. Once it hits the last 3 degrees, manifestation takes off. People have no time. You start drawing in through law of attraction like crazy all of the things that you have been deciding on. And not only are you drawing it in, but you now make this massive soul pyramid where what you draw in as far as what you believe in. Remember, the question was, what gives you life's most purpose? Well, whatever you decided now moves forward. It carries with you all your thoughts, Neptune, and it gives you a feeling of reality and your dreams moving forward. And that is the gravity wave that's going on Sunday. Isn't it just bravo? I mean, the universe this week is just like a symphony. All right, Aqua, that's all I have for your 7-day forecast. Check out Carolyn's video. They're live on Wednesdays. And map out your emotional sways that's going on in that regard. And check out Nikki's class. And come on down to office hours. Life is speeding up, and we're here to help you. Until then, live, love, be.